Sometimes, give or take, I have to sacrifice a thing or two, which brings me to the announcement that I will not be posting any YouTube videos. I am back on YouTube. Wow, it has been a while. For those of you who subscribed to this channel when I was still actively posting, welcome back. And for those of you who subscribed when I was no longer actively posting, welcome. I am really happy to have you here and to really get to know you better moving forward. You know, today's video is really kind of like a catch-up session where I want to update you about what happened in the last 2 years. Why did I stop posting actively and why am I coming back right now? But most importantly, I just want to share with you so that you know what you can expect moving forward here on this channel. The last time that I was actively posting here is probably in August 2019 when I first started a full-time job on top of the business coaching practice that I started. And at that time, I actually thought that I was able to juggle between a full-time job, a business, as well as YouTube, but obviously not because I failed to do so. After that, I kind of posted some vlogs here and there. I did a wrap-up video, but I was never able to be consistently showing up on YouTube with a proper intention, with a proper niche, and properly curated content for you guys. So I kind of just left my YouTube on a blank. A lot has happened since then, and I really want to update you with the most summarized version of everything so that it makes sense to you on why I get to where I am today. Over the last 2 years, I have learned a lot, professionally and personal life-wise as well. Through my job in an events company, I actually was able to organize workshops. Initially, it was physical in-person workshops and retreats for students in Malaysia and internationally as well in Bangkok. I went to Phuket as well and Taiwan, Taipei specifically. And it was an amazing experience being able to put together workshops and retreats for students from around the world. And because of COVID, things changed very fast as well. We pivoted to online in a very short period of time, and we actually went from organizing workshops for 500 people to 4,000 people in just a month's time. So there was a huge learning curve for myself, and I'm gonna keep this story for another time, but basically you could see that because of the huge jump, I actually got to learn a lot that a lot of people would have taken years to achieve. And it's definitely a huge blessing for me. Besides the events that I get to put together for work, I also had the opportunity to organize my first female empowerment event. Now you guys know that I'm huge when it comes to girl boss and female empowerment. So when I had the chance to put together my first event, I wanted to make sure that my cause, my mission is included as well. So instead of the usual speaker lineup that is majority men and a few token female, I decided that I wanted my lineup to be all females instead. So I gathered all the female experts in digital marketing as well as social branding and brought them together to teach my crowd on how to build their authority online and really start to create the digital income that they can during the pandemic. Now this experience, while it looks pretty glamorous on the outside, I had about 400 attendees attending, and I received amazing feedback and responses from my students. While it looked pretty awesome on the outside, I actually lost about 5 figures putting together all of this on the setup cost as well as the advertising cost as well. So it was actually an event that kind of scarred me a little bit in terms of my spirit of becoming an entrepreneur, because it's a huge learning curve for me. I've learned so much, I've experienced so much, But the pressure that comes with it when my money is at stake, when my name and my face is at stake, it's really different. But of course, I was able to process everything and able to learn and grow from it. So moving forward from this event, I was also invited to speak at a summit with like over 4,000 people. And from there, I also went on to put together my first group coaching program, which is a pretty intimate one with just a few students. I apologize for the construction sound upstairs. I hope it's not too distracting, and I hope that is just for a while. But yeah, I put together my first group coaching session that's kind of intimate, and I would say that it was actually through this 3-month group coaching program that I realized that I really miss this intimate one-on-one coaching sessions where I actually get to journey together with my clients for a longer period of time so that I can actually witness the transformation together. It is amazing to have a big crowd of students, a big crowd of people listening to me, interacting with me for a few hours, for a few days. But it's just a very different experience when you get to be closely journeying with your clients and seeing the transformation that they have. This was when I actually start to reevaluate where I want to be in terms of my career. Now, when I got into this job 2 years ago, I actually had this vision of myself being a speaker, speaking to a huge crowd on a big stage, impacting thousands and thousands of people's lives. But I also realized along the journey that I prefer intimacy. I prefer to impact people on a deeper level instead of a shallow level with more people. Okay, does that make sense? Let me rephrase it. I realized that what I want is not in terms of the volume of people that I can impact, but the depth of the impact that I can create in one person's life. And of course, it's not one person, but a smaller pool of people with deeper impacts. So then combined with, the 2 years of lockdown spirit, I felt like I actually went through quarter life crisis again, where I started questioning a lot of things in my life. And it was also during this period that I made a huge decision to move into this new space, this new house together with my boyfriend. And I would say that it's one of the best decisions that I made last year that has completely changed the course of my life in the last few months. It was through building this new home, it was through creating this new space that I needed, that I realized the one thing that matters the most to me that I lost in the last 2 years, which is creativity. When I was growing up, I started blogging when I was like 14 years old, and this blog, this platform where I get to share to people stayed with me for the next 10 years. And I didn't even stop it because I didn't like it anymore. I stopped it because I moved on to YouTube, where it's kind of like a new platform, a new outlet to create. And I went on to create YouTube videos for fun for another 3 years. And during this process, I never really got sick of it because I really enjoyed the process of creating. And I'm not saying that, in the last 2 years, I was also still creating content online. In fact, I was also training people and teaching people on how to create content online. But what I was focusing the last 2 years was a lot of strategies, was a lot of like results-driven, number-driven content that just felt like it wasn't coming from my heart anymore. And I just felt like a part of my soul was robbed away from me during this entire process. So that's one thing that I realized. It could be like content burnout. It could be like creativity burnout. And like I said, like this hustle allowed me to learn so much in the last 2 years. Things that people could have taken years to learn, I was able to learn them in a very short period of time. But I just realized that it's not what I want completely, because I believe that there is just so much more to life that can offer to me, and I want to still have that creative part of my life with me. I know that I have a bigger mission in life. I know that I have a lot of messages and thoughts that comes from my heart that I want to share with people, and I want to move on to do that. During this period, I also come to realize that if there's just one thing that I can focus in terms of content strategy and social media visibility, it would be on video strategy. And the reason is really simple. Social media is moving towards video content. TikTok is up and rising. Streaming platforms like Twitch is up and coming. Even Instagram has also switched the strategy to focus on Reels and other video content. At the same time, I also come to realize that this video thing, it actually comes pretty natural for me. It is something that I'm continuously being told that I'm good at, and I realized that it's a part of my inner genius that I can actually utilize and teach you guys more about it. Over the last few months, I've started to create a lot of TikTok videos and Reels and stories as well. These are like short form content that is really fun to create, that I can do on my phone, and it's really easy to do. But what I really miss is the long form videos like this, that I really get to sit down and talk in depth with you about a specific strategy or maybe a thought that I have in my mind. And at the same time, I actually achieved the YouTube partner status at the end of 2019, right when I stopped being active on YouTube. Over the last 2 years, I've been able to make a little bit of passive income, even though I'm not actively posting on YouTube. So creating videos on YouTube has always been something that's at the back of my head, because I know that it's something that I can work on to build an additional income stream for myself. As I narrowed down my coaching practice to just video strategy, and with everything that I just shared with you, it just makes sense for me to come back to YouTube right now. So what can you expect from my channel moving forward? I would describe YouTube as a place for us to have a real deep talk when it comes to the content strategies that I've learned along the journey, when it comes to the mindset and confidence that's needed to go in front of the camera, and the struggles of a creative's journey. My approach when it comes to creating content now has changed a lot compared to where I was just a few months ago, because I've come to realize the importance of creating this space in your mind to be able to flow, to be able to just keep on creating and serve your audience from your heart. It's one thing to have the numbers in track, it's one thing to be results driven, but it's another when you are still serving from your heart and to be able to do this in a sustainable way. Besides that, there are a lot of features on YouTube that are kind of new to me because I haven't been active in the last 2 years. So as I explore all these different features, I'll be sharing with you along the journey as well. I would like for you to think of me as the older sister, kind of a petite one, that is here to share with you all the things that I've learned along my journey, along my creative journey, as well as my personal life as well. Being someone who advocates about authenticity, I really want to show up not just as someone who shares with you all the video content strategy, but also someone who gives you life advice sometimes. You know, the videos that are doing really well on my channel, all this while, were the videos that I shared about my birth control pills, about my depression journey, about my antidepressant journey. So random contents like that might come up occasionally, because if I think that there's an important message to share, I'm going to share that. Even if it means that I'm going to go off-brand sometimes, I'm gonna do it because I know that someone out there who's searching on YouTube is going to benefit from it. So yeah, this is a channel where you can talk about content strategy, how to show up better on videos, but we also are going to connect better on a personal level as well. In terms of timeline wells, I'm still starting back and I don't want to overwhelm myself too much. So I'm committing to posting a new video every 2 weeks. And once I'm able to work on the systems that I have in terms of my schedule, then I'm hoping to show up on a weekly basis again. My intention is also to actually turn this video into podcast series as well, but one thing at a time. If you have been listening all the way to this section, give yourself a round of applause. I so thank you for staying all the way with me as I update you about my life. And I'm really excited to journey with you here on YouTube again. I hope you're going to enjoy my next video, where I plan to share with you how much I actually make in the last 2 years of being an inactive YouTube partner, and the analytics that you can look into when deciding to grow your YouTube account. I look forward to have you on again. Make sure to turn on the notification bell because at this moment, I don't know about the frequency that I'll be posting, so I think a notification bell will be very helpful to let you know when I've posted a new video. Until then, I'll see you in my next one. Bye!